Each and every Monday is $9 Monday at WagerTalk.com, and all daily picks packages are priced at only $9, including 5% best bets normally priced at $35. As an added bonus, any picks packages loaded early for overnight Tuesday or action during the week will also be priced at $9 until midnight on Monday. So make sure to take advantage of getting these $25 and $35 picks for only $9 before the clock strikes 12 and they return to regular price.
Happy Tuesday, guys. Welcome to another edition of Stoppage Time, match day 6 in Champions League. These are the last set of games today and tomorrow in Champions League. And then we are heading into the knockout stages, but that won't happen until February. So we've got some time off, but we've got some very good games today we're going to discuss. Liverpool, AC Milan, Porto, Atletico Madrid. The spot in that group is still up for grabs. Atalanta, Villarreal to see who finishes second to Man United. And of course, Bayern Munich and Barcelona. Can Barcelona pull off the upset and get themselves into the group stages? Joining me from WagerTalk.com, it's Nick Borrman and Kevin Dolan. And of course, from Sportsmemo, the one and only, the prop master, Pavlos Laguretos. Let's bring him in. Pavlos, I'll go to you first, my friend. How are things?
Things are looking great. I'm coming off a mediocre weekend, but I did make some money on Sunday and Monday. I was really, really close to hitting a couple of correct score props, but looking to bring that luck to this midweek Champions League and Europa League fixtures. I got a prop package up for today. I have a 5% up for Thursday's Europa League matches, and I'm still researching about Wednesday's matches because there's a lot of news coming out, and we just have to be on the edge of our seats in order to make some value bets. But I'm really excited to talk European soccer with you guys.
Awesome, and I echo your thoughts completely, Pavlos. With these final two match days, with some of the games having meaning, we pretty much know straightforward what the lineups are going to be like. But there are some games that are pretty much meaningless games, other than the 2 or 3 million euros that come with winning one of these games for the teams as an incentive. But some players possibly resting for some teams, and we'll get to that during these write-ups. But Nick Borrman, how are things going?
Good. Coming off a very good the weekend, 8-1 since Friday, all soccer plays, and have a couple 5% plays loaded up for Wednesday, and then this upcoming Saturday in the Premier League. So looking forward to this week. As Pavlos mentioned, tough to figure out lineups for some of these teams, so you got to really dig in deep if you can, but looking forward to diving in a little bit with you boys.
All right, and we'll have some great promos because Nick is on a very good run, has a 5% play loaded. I'll have a promo for you after the AC Milan and Liverpool game. Kevin Dolan, my friend, how is life in Ireland?
Yeah, it's all good, Carmine. We're dealing with a bit of a storm over here right now, Storm Barra, so huge parts of the country going blackout. But look, I was on a nice little runner in the EPL, nice little heater, cash 9 of the last 13 over the last 2 weeks in the EPL, but ended up taking Arsenal last night. Don't know if anyone caught that game. Actually almost got out of jail in that one. Eddie Nketiah hit the post late, but what a god-awful display from the Gunners on that one. Easily one of the worst performances I've seen from them all year. Lacazette, Aubameyang, they are joke squad up front, zero penetration, that midfield area, Thomas Partey, Odegaard, Xhaka. If soccer players were food, they're like 3 cream bonbons in that midfield area. They're just pure soft. Literally, it's just everything we're just able to tear right through them. So, Thomas Partey as well, midfield enforcer, do me a favour. They need their money back off Atletico. So, I just want to say my heart goes out to all you Arsenal fans out there. But on a more upbeat note, we're riding a nice 60% win streak on all UEFA prop place in September. Heading into tonight, got a Champions League triple pack loaded up for tonight as well. So excited for that and looking forward to breaking down a few of these games of the day show.
Yeah, Arsenal was on my card yesterday too. I split in my 2 games. Yeah, and Partey giving away that ball at midfield, it seemed was a regular thing with them. I get the team is playing better. Arteta is trying to instill that mentality into the team where 1-0 wins, that Italy mentality of the 70s, 80s, and 90s is the way to go. There's only really one team that I think can do that in the Premier League, and that's Chelsea. And it's because they've got a phenomenal midfield on that team, so it makes it a lot easier. But anyways, myself, it's been a great 2021 in European football, plus 182 bankroll gain, percent bankroll gain, and I'm trying to hit that 200 before the year is over. So let's get a start with today's 4-pack and see if we can get a few more wins there. All right, guys, let's get right to it. First game, let's have a look at the odds on this one. AC Milan and Liverpool. AC Milan, a plus 105 at home, a short favorite. The draw is plus 305. Liverpool plus 245. The price on Milan is slightly higher right now. You can get it at about plus 120. Kevin and I are going to look at this, and I'm just going to get straight to the point on this one. Listen, Liverpool have locked up top spot in Group B, winning all 5 games. And the big thing for them right now, if you're reading the news and you're reading the coach's comments, is they have a congested December schedule coming up. 7 games to finish off this year, and that all culminates with a game against at the start of the new year against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. So keeping these players healthy, keeping these players injury free is probably the first and foremost thing for Jurgen Klopp. And what has he done? He is bringing to Milan some of the youth squad, some of his youngsters. So you can expect to see some of those featured in the game. Some of them coming in probably in the second half. I get the integrity of the game, and it's an important game to the other 2 teams in the group, and they want Liverpool to field their best 11, but they're not going to field their best 11 here. For Milan, the point is clear. They need to win this game and then hope that Porto do not win their game against Atletico Madrid. They need that game to end either in a draw or Atletico Madrid to get the win, and that should get AC Milan into that second spot and into the group stages. This is one of those games where Liverpool's done this before. I think we've seen it in the domestic cup play where they sent a youth squad to Aston Villa and got bombed 5-0 in that game. They didn't care about that competition. And sure, some money comes with this play in getting all 3 points, but I think the health and the health of their players is more important. I think Klopp is going to make some rotation to the lineup. We'll probably see a few starters, but we'll see some second half rotations. And if Milan can get ahead or keep it scoreless at halftime, they'll have the advantage in the second half. So AC Milan for me at plus money here. Kevin?
Well, I'll say this, Carmine. Obviously, I understand this is a must-win game for AC Milan tonight. No other result will do if they're looking to get through the knockout round. But even with that, there's simply no way I'm interested in betting AC Milan in this spot. Because we all know at the end of the day, must-win scenarios. We've talked about it on this show many times before. Books invariably hike up the tax on these motivation-type games. And there's always usually a little bit of value taken the other side in these kind of spots. For me, Liverpool did get out of jail at the weekend, obviously against Wolves. Left it very, very late in that one to secure all 3 points. But again, that's only the second time all season that Liverpool have been kept under 2 goals in a game. So even with the backup squad, it's very hard for me to fade them in this spot tonight because that culture of winning in this squad right now is still absolutely superb. Liverpool aren't quite as deep in rotation as someone like City are, in my opinion. But even with the youth squad, guys like Minamino and Origi as well will be chomping at the bit to make an impact in this game. I actually quite like Minamino to score here tonight, plus 240 as well. He's looked good in the League Cup this season when he started. So I certainly don't think AC Milan will find the Liverpool team happy to just lay down and lose here. Overall, I quite like the outright draw on this one. Huge price on that. Wouldn't be surprised if, we see a scenario where kind of Liverpool break some Italian hearts late tonight with a late equaliser. And I like goals in this one as well. The longer this game goes on, the more AC Milan have to push forward here. That creates a ton of space at the back for Liverpool to run into, and we know how consistent they've been in front of goal this season. So 2-2 correct score plus 1100 also really appeals to me here. I'd like to hear Pavlos' thoughts on that. As I like the draw and I like goals, so that scoreline makes sense to me. But yeah, I mean, if you're looking for just a straight side play on this one, I would tend to go towards Liverpool plus a half a goal here at -130.
Awesome. Love it. I don't love the exact score only because Milan can't win in a 2-2 draw, but we'll see how that goes today, Kev. I'm sure we'll be talking about this game on Twitter as they play on, and we'll see the lineups. You can check the lineups about 45 minutes before game time. They'll be posted on the team's Twitter feeds and the Champions League Twitter feed as well. Guys, before we head to that second game of Porto and Atletico that we discussed, I want to mention a show promo. You can get a 7-day all-access package for any of the guys at WagerTalk or SportsMemo. At WagerTalk, use coupon code UEFA50. That's UEFA50, and you'll get $50 off the $119 price, so $69 less than $10 a day. And over at SportsMemo, if you use the coupon code UEFA30, you can get Pavlos' 7-day all-access for only $59. Again, less than $10 a day. It's a great deal. Head over and click on their capper pages, and you can take advantage of that deal. That'll get you right through the weekend and next Monday and Tuesday's games as well too. So that's a great deal over at WagerTalk and SportsMemo. All right, guys. The second game that we had I touched on earlier, FC Porto and Atletico Madrid. Let's have a look at the numbers on this one. It's pretty even. FC Porto plus 170 at home. The draw is plus 240. Atletico Madrid plus 175. And, Nick and Pavlos are going to look at this one. And Nick, it's pretty clear here. Porto, a win by either team. Well, a win by Porto gets him into that second spot into the knockout stages. Atletico is going to need to win the game and then get some help from Liverpool and hope that Milan doesn't win. A Liverpool win or draw, and Atletico win gets Atletico in. What are your thoughts here? This one seems like it's a tight one.
Definitely is going to be a tight one. The first game was, and there's no reason to think this one won't. So essentially, this is a knockout round game. You hit on the scenarios, for these teams to qualify, Carm. But I have to imagine this is going to be one boring-ass game if you're someone that likes to see goals. I just don't see a lot happening here. There's so much on the line for both teams. They both have very good defenses. The first mistake either way could honestly decide this game. So I think we're going to see a very cautious approach by both teams. Neither is going to want to concede that first goal and be, forced to play catch-up. The only issue, Carm, you mentioned, is that Atletico do need to win this game. So at some point, they're going to have to push for a goal, assuming it's, 0-0 for going into the second half. Porto, they don't need to. They can kind of sit back and they can take on pressure and be okay with a 0-0 type of a game. But, for me, if one of these teams gets up 1-0, it's protect mode. So I think we're going to see a lot of nothing in this game, not a lot of open space, not a lot of pressing, not a lot of availability for counters, anything like that. The first meeting between these teams, 0-0, 0-0, in a game that saw a total of just 11 shots with 3 on goal. And so far in group play, 4 of Porto's 5 games have stayed under this total, while 3 of Atletico's 5 games have stayed under this total. So I don't have a lot more analysis to say on this game. I just think the situation is very appealing here for an under. And, of course, these are 2 good defensive teams. So I think it's going to be very tight, low-scoring affair, and it may take I actually looked at the first half line to take an under, but under 1 goal is juiced to like -145 or something. So under 2.25 for the game is the way I would play this one.
All right, Nick Borrman at WagerTalk.com with his take on the Atletico and FC Porto game. And yeah, Nick, Porto's got a great defense at home as well. So, and Atletico, I just don't know what, I just can't figure this team out as of yet. But it's not the typical Atletico Madrid team. And Pavlos, maybe you'll touch on this one. This is a team that used to be just hell-bent on playing phenomenal defense. I didn't see that on the weekend where they allowed 2 late goals to lose at home 2-1. Not a good thing heading into this weekend or this week's Champions League games. Give me your thoughts on this one.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, and I have to disagree with Casper6 at the comments. He says that Atletico have a good defense. Atletico do not have a good defense this season, especially on the road. They have struggled a lot. They haven't kept a single clean sheet on the road. They have conceded at least one goal in all 9 away matches this season. They have 5 wins, 2 draws, and 2 losses. That's not a very bad record, but if you look at their matches, they scored 2 late goals to beat Espanyol on the road. Then they scored 2 late goals to beat Getafe on the road. They lost to Alaves by 1-0. They concede goals left and right, especially on the road. I think this defensive mechanism that Simeone has been building over the years has just evaporated this season. This is not the same Atletico Madrid side we've been used to seeing in recent years. And as far as this match goes, Nick essentially hit the nail in the head. This is going to be a very cagey match. As he said, the reverse fixture was a goalless draw that had 11 shots on target and 10 cards. So, there was almost more cards than goals in that match. So I expect something similar today. I expect maybe a draw at halftime. The draw at halftime goes at plus 100, which is a very, very nice and good value in that bet, considering the fact that both teams will try to avoid conceding the first goal. We're looking at a very, very cagey match with a lot of fouls. The reverse match, I think, had 33 or 35 fouls. So I expect a lot of fouls, a lot of cards, minimal action in the 2 big areas. I also have to say that the 2 coaches they played together in Lazio, and they are both hot-headed, and they have infused their teams with this same hot-headedness, if that's even a word. So, I expect cards. I don't expect to see a lot of goals, even though Madrid's defense has struggled a lot this season. There have been some very controversial news about FC Porto. I was reading the news yesterday and today. The thing with Porto is that they have 2 players named Pepe, and they are both Brazilian. And of course, one is the center back, the 38-year-old, and the other one is a winger. And the winger is the one that has been diagnosed with coronavirus. But there are a lot of news outlets that they say that the captain, the center back, is out with coronavirus. So there is a lot of weird stuff and weird news coming out. For what it's worth, I think Pepe is still listed as questionable today to play, and both teams have a lot of absences at the back. FC Porto have 1 true center back to use. They'll probably use Mbemba as a center back, while Atletico Madrid, their best defender was injured in the match against Mallorca. Savic is going to miss about a month. Felipe is out through a suspension. Jimenez is out. So they will also use a makeshift defense with either a holding midfielder or a right back as a center back. So this could go over, but I do see a very cagey match between the 2. So it's draw at halftime for me.
All right. As you were talking, Pavlos, and that's Pavlos Laguretos of Sports Memo. As you were talking, I put that draw in because I love the idea of that halftime draw that you brought up. So I'm going to try and take advantage of that and see if we can cash that one. Guys, before we head to the third game, I just want to mention, obviously it is Tuesday, so it's $2 Tuesday over at WagerTalk and Sportsmemo. It's where you can get a featured cappers plays for only $2. These are plays that normally go for $25 and $35. Over at WagerTalk, we have 2 $2 cappers, Brian Leonard and Kyle Anthony, who does a ton of UFC. They both have $2 plays up. With those plays, there's some great promos inside the analysis section. And then over at Sports Memo, my favorite Philadelphia Flyers fan, Matt Joseph, he's got a play up. You can get that for $2 as well. So take advantage of those. You can get 3 cappers, each for $2 at WagerTalk and Sports Memo. All right, game 3 on the card, guys. Atalanta and Villarreal, a Group F fixture. I'm going to look at this first and then pass it over to Kevin for his thoughts. A spot in the knockout stages is up for grabs here. It's Villarreal currently sit in second with 7 points. Italian side, Atalanta, sit with 6. So it's clear what has to happen here. Man United is already through into the knockout stages. Villarreal, if they avoid defeat, will pick up the win or will advance. And Atalanta will need to win. These teams met on match day 1. That game finished 2-2 in Spain. And you would think in a game like this with a high-flying Italian side that can score some goals, that the total of 3 is probably one that is going to soar over the total. My thinking here is a little different. My thinking is we're going to get a Villarreal team coming. They know what they need to do. They'll probably change the lineup up a little bit, put some holding midfielders in, and try and slow this game to a crawl. Again, a draw is good enough for them in this game. So while Atalanta concedes a lot of goals, I don't think Villarreal are looking to score goals. They're just looking to avoid conceding at this point. We might get one of those games that, as Pavlos mentioned with that Atletico game, is a tight one through the first 45, and we might see something in the second half. But I don't think we get over the total of 3 here. So I'm going to keep it short and simple, throw to Kevin, and I'm going to lean to under 3 in this game. Kev?
Yeah, I'm going to look towards Atalanta in this one, Carmine. Price is probably a little bit artificially inflated here just based off their need to win. As you said, Villarreal only need to avoid defeat in this one. But, I wouldn't classify it, under the same bracket as the must-win in the last game we discussed in the Liverpool game. Liverpool with nothing to play for in that game. Villarreal, however, this is a much trickier spot for them tonight. Do they play defensively, as you said? Look to play for the draw because, that brings its own risk. Or potentially do they play a bit more free flow and push for that win? So it is tricky because it overcomplicates issues for Unai Emery tonight. Whereas, Gasperini, it's a simple, must win here. So Atalanta have been absolute goal machines this campaign, 10 goals in 5 games. They're averaging 12.6 shots per game in the Champions League. They've got the second highest XG in Serie A this season as well. So we know what they're coming to do here tonight. And the question is, can Villarreal stop them? I'm just not sure they can. I don't think playing for a draw will work for them tonight. Villarreal ranked bottom half in the table this season in the Liga away from home. Unexpected goals against. They're giving up 1.17 XGA away from home this year. They've got the worst possession-based stats out of any team in Group F as well, averaging just 48.7% on average. So, holding on to the ball may be problematic for them as well. I just think the road's clear for Atalanta tonight. Atalanta, like the situation Villarreal find themselves in, are arguably at their worst, when they're stuck between that rock and a hard place. We saw 2 years ago in the Champions League quarter-final, I believe, where, Atalanta took the lead early against PSG, game goes into the second half. Atalanta start deviating from their game plan, tried to play it safe, switch to defence, protect the lead, ended up costing them, shipped 2 late goals to PSG to crash out of the competition. So, thankfully Atalanta have no such concerns tonight. They know what they need to do, win or go home, possibly the Europa League. But I think that simplicity serves them well here tonight. And I do like them to get the win against Villarreal here. So, Atalanta on the money line for me, minus 130.
All right, Kev. I'm just going to throw one quickly back at you because I like your thought process in this game. This is one where it's not one of the ones where you got to win by margin, where you go in needing a couple goals. It's clear for Atalanta what they need to do here. When I was discussing the total, I wanted to mention, you look at some of Villarreal's games, or all of their games, they've played 11 games on the road thus far. If you look at a total of 3, they've only gone over that total in 3 of those 11 games. 2 of them were pushes, 6 of them went under the total. Is this one of the ones where you think where Villarreal coming in, playing a different style than they're accustomed to, might actually hurt them?
Well, I agree with you in terms of where they'll start this game, but, as I said in my analysis, Atalanta keep pushing forward, get that goal. Then we kind of have to see a different Villarreal where they might. So that would be the only concern for me in terms of looking at an under here, because, Atalanta get 2 goals, which we know they're well capable of doing. Villarreal have to come out their shell. And it's just, for me, they've looked very patchy. Pavlos was saying about Atletico Madrid in the last segment. Villarreal are the same. They're historically known as a tight defensive team. But they've looked, shaky this season. They haven't looked their usual dependable selves at the back. So, that would definitely give me a bit of pause and concern for the total here.
Yeah, and listen, I get it. This is a team that can score at home. It'll be interesting to see how this game plays out, but we can both hit it. I'm good with a 2-0 Atalanta win, and we both get the money, so I'm good with that. All right, guys, we are going to head into the the fourth and final game here. Bayern Munich, Barcelona. Let's get the odds on that one up. Bayern Munich, minus 150. The draw is plus 390, and Barcelona is plus 335 in this one. Nick and Pavlos are going to look at this one. It's the same sort of scenario as I mentioned in that Liverpool one, or Bayern Munich. While they are at home here, 15 points, 19-3 goal differential. They've locked up this group. They took care of Barcelona on match day 1 in Spain, 3-0. Barcelona needs to avoid defeat here. A win gets them in. A draw could get them in, I believe, or any result where they match what Benfica does. Benfica obviously are playing Dinamo Kiev. Nick, give me your thoughts on this one. This is a much lower price than we are used to seeing Bayern Munich at home in a Champions League game.
It is a lower price, but it's still pretty funny to me to see them listed as full goal favorites when this game means, absolutely nothing to them, while it's a must win, or at least, like you said, match Benfica's result. But most likely that's going to be a win they're going to need here. And they're still, Bayern's still a goal favorite over Barcelona. They don't have to even show up in this game. So it just tells you the levels that the bookmakers think these teams are separated by, which obviously I think all of us would agree with. So, of course, what's hard to figure out is how does Nagelsmann line up for Bayern here. One thing I feel like is for sure is that Lewandowski is still going to play this game because he just does not miss a game, regardless of the situation. I think the only game he didn't play this year was a cup match back in August that Bayern won 12-0. So, he plays in everything. So I feel like he's still going to be out there. And that being said, I feel like we still do see a strong lineup from Bayern. I think it's important for them to keep some momentum going. They may sub out early. They may, make some changes as the game goes on. But I think we're going to see a decent starting 11. Plus, they're deep enough where even if they do have some rotation, it's going to be a solid team. But I think for Barcelona, the mission is clear. We know they need to win, but they know they cannot get into a shootout with Bayern if they're going to win this game. It's just not going to happen. They cannot keep up scoring with Bayern Munich. So, I think the only situation here for me to bet on would be actually the scary proposition of taking an under in a Bayern match. And that's simply because Barcelona, I think, are going to have to set themselves up defensively and try to limit Bayern here. If Bayern are going to score 2 or 3 goals, Barcelona's not going to win this game. It's that simple. So they got to hold them. They got to do their best. They got to set up defensively. I think it could end up being a 1-0 type of a game, maybe a 2-1 type of a game. They just cannot simply afford to fall behind. All 5 of Barcelona's group stage matches so far have finished under this total, and only 2 of Bayern's matches have stayed under the total. But they've played to 4 straight unders overall before their Klassiker win over Dortmund this past weekend. But you kind of have to ignore that history is like an average of 15 goals per game for the last 10 matches. So ignore that. Otherwise, Bayern have been playing very well defensively. They've been playing very well defensively. Just most people look at their offensive numbers, which rightfully so. They put up ridiculous expected goal numbers, but they've only allowed 0.65 expected goals in this group. And of course, they kept Barcelona without a shot on goal in that first match and very limited. So I think this is going to be a very tight, low-scoring game simply because that's Barcelona's only chance to win this one. So hold your breath and hang on, but go under 3.25 goals here in this match.
All right, Nick Borrman at WagerTalk.com. And, I've got to agree with you on that one. If there are goals, it might only come from Bayern Munich, even with a side that's rotated and players out. I know Kimmich obviously is still, I believe, in quarantine. So there's a few players that will likely get the day off. Pavlos, you look at this game, and I watched the Betis game on the weekend with Barcelona, and I'm like, this team has no creativity whatsoever. They just can't score goals. How do they find them here against a Bayern Munich team?
Well, I was actually on that match. I was in both teams scoring over 2.5 goals. Turns out Barcelona couldn't score, which was kind of weird but predictable. If you see their lineup, they used at least 3 or 4 youngsters, and it was more than clear that they were trying to protect some players and keep them fresh for this huge battle against Bayern Munich. The thing with Barcelona is, okay, they changed their coach. Now Xavi's in charge. They still haven't found the stability that they need. They're alternating between a draw and a win, and then a loss in their last match. They're still struggling to find stability. And but however, this is a match where they need to win, because Benfica are hosting Dynamo Kiev in the other match, and they are expected to win. So if Benfica go to 8 points, Barcelona, they don't need a draw here, because the tiebreaker is the head-to-head matches, and they had a loss and a draw against Benfica. So if Barcelona draw against Bayern Munich and Benfica beat Dynamo Kiev, then Barcelona will finish at the 3rd spot. So they need a win here. Of course, they'll be listening to what Benfica will be doing in the other match. But yeah, I mean, there might be a logic in picking Barcelona money line here at plus 350, 335. I mean, the odds are dropping, which means that people are betting money on Barcelona. Another way to play this is Barcelona double chance at plus 130-ish, or maybe Barcelona plus 1 goal. Of course, this match can backfire in a major way. Keep in mind that this Bayern Munich completely destroyed Barcelona by 3-0 in the reverse fixture, and also in the 2020 quarterfinals, where they absolutely demolished them by 8-2 in Barcelona. So, of course, this is a totally different match. Bayern Munich, they have already capped the top spot, and they usually rest players when they when they play the last match the last match of the group stage. Sometimes they rest, sometimes they don't. I looked at the results from the past 5 seasons. They do rest Lewandowski from time to time in those final matches, but when this is a high-profile match, and this one is against Barcelona, I think he will play. So do we trust Barcelona on the road? Not so much. I mean, they've won just 2 of their 8 matches in all competitions this season, and those wins came against the Villarreal and Dynamo Kiev. And I mean, there might be a logic to backing Barcelona here, since they need a win to progress. But it might be hard, because this Bayern Munich side are always very competitive. I'm just don't go mad about it, but I'm actually looking at Barcelona money line here. I mean, that's a very good opportunity. Just maybe a 1 or 2% bet, just a small stake bet on Barcelona to win here.
All right, Pavlos Laguretos of Sportsmemo with his thoughts on that Bayern Munich and Barcelona game. Pavlos, you might want to just do a 2-team parlay with some plus money, and you take that Barcelona and you take maybe AC Milan today. Before we get into the best bet segment, the AC Milan one is a funny one, because I'm reading a ton of comments from Liverpool fans on Twitter, and normally they just want their team to win and win big and score goals. Their fan base is asking Klopp to rest all their players and lose to AC Milan for the sheer fact that they hate Atletico Madrid. It's unbelievable, the disdain that the Liverpool fans have for Atletico Madrid, that they actually want their team to lose, which would keep Atletico Madrid out of the knockout stages and send them likely to Europa, or out of all competitions in general. So that's pretty interesting in itself. All right, guys, best bet segment. We are going to look at 4 games that go on the weekend, and we're going to start it off with Kev. Kev, you are taking us to Scotland. Tell us what you got loaded up at WagerTalk, and what your best bet play for the weekend is.
Yeah, my second favourite country. My best bet for this weekend is going to be over in the Scottish Premiership, as you said. I'm going to take Hearts plus a full goal against one of Nick's favourite team, Rangers, in this one. I just think this line's too high. Hearts have been incredibly gritty at home in Tynecastle this season. They haven't lost there all year. And they're one of only 3 teams all season yet to lose at home, alongside the big 2 of Rangers and Celtic, obviously. Rangers have a Europa League game against Lyon on Thursday, pretty meaningless. In the grand scheme of things, both teams are already qualified. Unless Sparta Prague absolutely blow the doors off Brøndby in the other game, they'd have to win that by 6-7-0. So I do expect Rangers to rest a few players in that one. But nonetheless, they still have to travel there, the team at least. I know the French government tried to ban the fans coming in. Not sure if that's been overturned yet. So, they still have to show up. And these are all little aspects that Hearts have in their favour ahead of Sunday's clash against Rangers. So, I think Hearts can get the outright draw here. They've allowed the second fewest goals at home this season, and they'll be well up for this one. So, my best bet, take Hearts plus the full goal here on Sunday against Rangers, or for the more adventurous, take the outright draw plus 275. I like both of those this weekend. We have a Champions League triple pack up for tonight. I'm working on tomorrow's card right now. And we're also looking at a 5% NFL play for Monday as well, Monday Night Football, which will be going for $9. So pretty excited about that.
All right. That is Kevin Dolan of WagerTalk.com with a lot of heart. Let's see what Nick Borrman has. What's loaded and what's your best bet?
Right now, I have loaded 2 5% plays, one for Wednesday Champions League and one for Saturday Premier League, along with a 2-pack going for today's Champions League matches. So that promo code is a great time to take advantage of it. Those 2 5% plays alone will sell for more than that 7-day all access. So good promo for sure. Best bet for this week is on Friday in the German Bundesliga. Looking at taking the over in the Augsburg-Köln match. I like playing overs when you have 2 mid-table or low-table teams with bad defenses playing one another. I did it yesterday. Udinese and Empoli won that over. Both teams are going to see this as a winnable game. I think both are going to push pretty hard to get those 3 points. Augsburg has conceded 25 goals in 14 games, which is tied for the 3rd most in the league, while Köln has allowed 23, which is the 6th most. In terms of expected goals, Augsburg is allowing the second highest expected goals in the league at 1.96 per game, while Köln is sixth most in the league at 1.68. 6 of 7 home games for Köln have finished over this total, with all 7 seeing both teams score, which is another possible way to play this one, which is priced at about the same as 2.5 goals if you were going to buy down to that number, about minus 140 or so. So, of course, another option is to then pair both teams to score and over 2.5 for a small plus price at plus 110, plus 115, something like that. So bottom line is I like goals in this game. Several options on how to play it. You can make that call, but my favorite is just simply taking over 2 3/4 goals.
All right. I love that play, Nick, and it's Pavlos' favorite team, Köln, from the Bundesliga. Speaking of overs, let's take it over to Pavlos for a game in Italy with another one of my favorite teams to bet totals on. Pavlos, what do you got?
Yeah, we're taking the both teams to score and over 2.5 goals in the Sassuolo versus Lazio match, which goes on Sunday. If you've been following me, I've been betting on this Sassuolo team for years, and this season even more so. And it's crazy. Their stats are crazy. 13 of their 16 matches this season had both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. This same prop has been confirmed in each of their last 10 matches and in each of their last 5 home matches. And when you look at Lazio, they have a terrible defense. They conceded 4 goals against Verona, 4 goals against Napoli, 4 goals against Udinese. They have a terrible defense on the road. They have got just 1 clean sheet in 11 away matches in all competitions this season. Each of their last 7 away matches had over 2.5 goals, and 4 of those also had both teams to score. Since 2013, when Sassuolo joined the Serie A, the 2 teams have played 16 matches against each other. 11 of those 16 matches had both teams to score and over 2.5 goals, also 4 of the last 5. So we are taking both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at minus 135. If you want to push that up to both teams to score and over 3.5 goals, you can go at plus 140, while I also love the 2-2 correct score at plus 950.
All right, Pavlos Laguretos of SportsMemo. I'll finish it off with a best bet, and I am going to England and the EPL. If you watch Puck Time, and that at the top of the hour, I'll be hosting that along with Andrew McInnes and Don Buster. But I will always talk about looking at a team schedule and forecasting some streaks. And listen, I'm going to Manchester United on this one. I've played them their last couple of games. The managerial change helped. The way the team is playing has helped. This team is starting to win, and they have such a favorable schedule. This is how they close out the year. They'll play Norwich this weekend, then Brentford, Brighton, Newcastle, Burnley, and then the Wolves. This is a win streak waiting to happen, and this team has some renewed confidence, playing well. I even saw Ronaldo running on the weekend, which you normally don't see. That high press that they have now with their new manager is something that is going to push this team forward. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Man United -1 at Norwich. That's my best bet for today's show. Guys, I'm going to close it out. Next Tuesday, we'll discuss some domestic league games as well, too. Don't forget the show promo, UEFA 50, to get $50 off that $119 price for a 7-day all access for myself, Nick, or Kevin. So it's only $69 for 7 days, less than $10 a day. And you can get it for $59 using coupon code UEFA30 over at SportsMemo for Pavlos Laguretos' 7-day all access. A great deal. Guys, listen, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for commenting. We'll see you next Tuesday. And as always, guys, good luck with your wagers.
Founded in 1957, the Gold Sheet is the country's longest-running sports betting newsletter. Each week, the Gold Sheet team delivers analysis on NFL and college football games, along with NBA and college basketball matchups. The Gold Sheet maintains in-depth point spread and results logs, giving sports bettors and enthusiasts the insights needed to maximize their wagers. For over 60 years, Gold Sheet readers have received key releases based on power rankings on all teams, and for the first time ever, you can now get these selections exclusively at goldsheet.com, WagerTalk.com, and SportsMemo.com.